guys, and welcome back to another video. Today is my day of graduation, so I wanted to vlog it for you guys. Obviously, due to Corona, it's not going to be in person, it's going to be on Zoom instead. Everything is on Zoom. So I wanted to film it and kind of show you what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen myself, so we're just going to take it as it comes. All I know is that there are two ceremonies. The first one is for like the whole thing of social science, and law is like towards the end. And then the law school is having like a separate little ceremony, I think, where they're doing speeches and awards. So we're just gonna see.
Graduands, guests and colleagues, my name is Mary Howarth, and it is both an honour and a privilege to stand before you today and welcome you to this August 2020 virtual graduation ceremony.
Well, I say at the University of York, but of course this year things are just so different. So on behalf of the entire University of Community, my warmest congratulations to you on this very special day.
My name is Professor Stuart Bell, and I am the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences. On behalf of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates. Bachelor of Laws in Law.
I mean, I didn't know what they were going to do for graduation, but I did expect a little more than a PowerPoint slideshow. Not quite sure about this. Like, I really thought that at least read the names out, even if it was like a quick style. This is basically just rolling credits.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ensemble Eonomy will perform Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. All through my system.
I actually never understand why this features.
And I'm delighted we now have two distinguished honorary graduates from a few years ago to add their thoughts on the next phase of your lives. Firstly, Baroness Hale, who recently completed her term as President of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, and then the acclaimed author, Michael Morpurgo.
Hello everyone, I'm Brenda Hale. Today is a great day too, even though the ceremony has to be done differently. We are still celebrating your achievements, and they are just as great as they would have been had we been together in person. Indeed, they are even greater, because you have had to contend with all the disruption which the COVID-19 pandemic has brought. So congratulations and every good wish to each and every one of you. Unlike me 4 years ago, you have had to work for the degrees which you so richly deserve.
Don't be afraid. These were the last words spoken to his wife by the great Irish poet, world poet, Seamus Heaney. And we mustn't be. We have work to do. You have work to do. And we will do it together, with hope and truth at our side. Because out of these dark days must come a better world. And remember the Monty Python song. Always look on the bright side of life. Dee-dum, 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 dee-dum. That'll cheer you up.
So editing me would just like to provide a little bit of context, because without it, it's just a little bit weird. So we got the choice of 3 songs. We then voted and chose which song we liked the best as a cohort, and then they asked us to send in clips of us lip syncing to the song. So that's what this is.
Hey now, you're a rock star, get your show on, get paid.
Okay, so the main ceremony is over, and now it's time for the law school ceremony presentation. I don't know what they're calling it. Basically, where I suppose the head of law school, Caroline, will do a speech and acknowledge the year.
I'm going to make a start, I think, and say welcome particularly to our family and supporters of our graduates. But actually, if any rest of you, whether it's staff or students, or I suppose also parents, want to say something, can you give me let me know on the chat line?
I want to start by congratulating all of you on completing the programme. Knowing how difficult those first few months of lockdown were, I have a huge amount of admiration for those of you who are dealing with all of that, as well as working hard on completing your assignments. And you should all be so proud of what you've achieved.
That we take at the beginning of every year with our freshers, and we invite you to come and take a picture. And this is the one for the 3-year LLB students in 2017 as you started.
What we've heard from Caroline and Joanna, which is a huge congratulations to you all, especially considering just how difficult the last few months have been and must have been for all of you. I feel a special attachment to this group because I started the law school the same time that you did. So my PAs, when you started, my first PAs, and so I have gone through this 3-year process with you, and so it's quite a big moment for me too, watching you leave as well. So I haven't had a chance to teach all of you, but it's been such a pleasure getting to know you, not just my advisees, but also my dissertation supervisors and others I've met along core courses on the way. And I've just been so impressed throughout my time here about your kind of commitment and your supporting ways with one another and your encouragement of one another. It's been just such a wonderful thing to watch. So a huge congratulations to all of you. But it's also my pleasure to present the Citizenship Awards.
Thank you, everyone. So that's the end of all our everything that's been set up. Congratulations to everybody, and particularly to those who've got the Citizenship Awards. As I say, we'll be in touch fairly soon, I hope, in terms of all the other prizes. Can I just say well done again, everybody? So I'll find my little clap thing and say thank you for coming. It's been lovely to have you here today, but thank you more for the last 2 or 3 years, depending how long you've been here. It's been a really lovely thing to have you in the law school. Congratulations. Bye-bye.
That's the end of graduation, and I've got to say, it kind of just feels very anticlimactic. I didn't really know what to expect for the ceremonies, you know, both the main ceremony but also the one the law school did. But I did kind of expect a little more than what they did. And I know that we're on Zoom and it's like COVID. It's quite limited of what we can actually do on those platforms. But it really did feel like, to me, what they actually did was very minimal, and they did what they had to do, but they didn't do it with feeling. Like, I really think there could have been a few things they could have done to like really just show that they cared a bit more, because to me it just felt like it was super impersonal, and that everything they were saying, you wouldn't know that it's a law school graduation, you wouldn't know it was even like my graduation, and it just felt like they were all reading from scripts and not really necessarily caring about who they were saying it to and the impact and the gravity of what we're actually feeling and where we're at in our lives. I just feel like it would have been so much better if they actually had all of the law school staff there. I was actually quite shocked that a very limited number of my lecturers even bothered to show up, which was kind of quite poor considering we've known them for 3 years and some of them can't even be bothered to log on, especially considering it's like a weekday. It's between 9 to 5. Come on, like, this is working hours and you don't even want to log on Zoom. Like, I don't know, that was quite shocking for me. And also, I don't know, I just expected the lecturers to maybe put together like a little short speech of all of them, or even for them to literally just turn their mic on and go, congratulations, turn it back off again, or do a clap. Like, there was a clap at the end, and obviously you saw it in the video, but it literally was just, oh, I want to now clap, turn camera off. Like, literally, it was 2 seconds long. It just felt so like pointless. Like, what does that really show me? What is that meant to make me feel? Yeah, I just would have really liked it if all the lecturers maybe made a little pre-video in advance. They could have been edited up really quickly, really easily. It literally would have took like half an hour to do, of them each just saying, you know, we appreciate that you've been here for 3 years, congratulations. Just something quick and easy. And it also was just interesting to me that, you know, out of a full year of students, there was like 70, 80 on that call. There's like such a small fraction of people even bothered to turn up to their own graduation. And then that really makes me think, why? It makes me question why you wouldn't even want to come to your own graduation. It just, to me, exemplifies that there feels to be a very present like lack of engagement between the staff and the students, and it's just shown by the fact that like Caroline, the head of law school, wanted us to, as a cohort, submit pictures, do speeches, and obviously like tune into the ceremony, and very few people submitted photos. All the photos were of the same like friendship group pretty much. And then no one wanted to give a speech, and barely anybody turned up. And it's like, why? Like, I know we've all had very different experiences of York, but if we assume that people had a good time here and that they had a great education and they met good people and they enjoyed their time at York, surely they would want to give a speech or maybe actually want to turn up to the graduation, like, but they don't. And to me, it just shows me that I'm probably not the only one who thinks there are things that need to change within the law school. Yeah, it's just a shame that whenever people have gone to the law school wanting change, it doesn't happen, because all we really want is positive change within the law school, so it becomes a healthy, you know, great positive environment for people to learn and want to be in. And at the end of the day, all the complaints, especially like things that I've said, that's all we really want it to end up being. It's never in malice, it's always in positivity. We want things to be better for all the people. It just shows that like that's not the priority really at York, or it feels that way right now. There's a lot of questions, I suppose, even from that graduation ceremony, of why didn't they do more, why did they only do the bare minimum, or it feels like the bare minimum, why didn't people turn up, why didn't people want to give a speech, why didn't people want to submit photos. It kind of almost creates a picture of how people have felt about the uni. That also followed through for the main event. Obviously, the main event was ran by like the social science faculty, I suppose. There was one student that spoke. The rest was done by academic staff. I think it would have been a really nice touch if they had more students speaking on that. You know, the majority of the speeches were done by the honorary graduate, which was like 10 minutes long, and people bigging up the honorary graduate. And then the woman at the start, I think her name was Mary, who was from the alumni team, basically just wanting money from for the uni. Like, and they're the majority of the speeches, when really what should have been at the heart of the ceremony is the students. And that really for me was missed. And I think even I just found it so weird that like the whole graduation was a PowerPoint where it's just like roll credits of all the names going through. Like, I just thought they'd at least read out the names, or at least like show a photograph of, you know, because we take a big group photograph with every cohort, right, when we start our degree, to at least show that photograph and go, here's the graduating class, and then read out the names maybe. And I think it would have been a really nice touch. This is something my mum said, and I completely agree, because obviously I watched it with her, that a really nice touch would have been to say, show the graduating class in a photograph, and then for each person that graduated, read their name out and put a photograph next to them so you can see who it is and see that they're acknowledged. And it wouldn't have took that much effort. We all have photos on our student cards. They could have put that all together without us like needing to have input from thousands of students, and they could have then maybe said who wants to be in it, who doesn't. I think it would have been nicer, and it would have basically just given each person a second or two to be like, oh yeah, that was me, that was acknowledged. But just putting it in one big list is like, I literally missed my own name. I didn't even know what my name was, so I missed my graduation effectively. It's like, it just feels so impersonal. For me, it's also frustrating that the ceremony was an hour, right? Whereas, why? Why couldn't it have been longer? I don't understand why it needed to only be an hour. Why couldn't they have just done them like they would normally do, where 1 or 2 departments graduate on a day and it's like 3 hours long to each department? So the law school, for example, would have got an hour and a half, and they read out all the names and everyone gets their acknowledgement. Like, just because it's on Zoom, why does it mean that they just need to read out all the names and they don't acknowledge each individual person? Because in the politest way, the staff would have been paid to be at graduation anyway, would have been paid to read people's names out and like put the same hours in. So why is it that now all those graduation ceremonies have been almost skipped and they just did a little quick PowerPoint through and that was it? It completely misses the point that we've spent 3 years of our lives struggling. A lot of people have had to have jobs alongside it, or they've developed themselves, or personal growth opportunities, or they've found themselves in their time of uni. There's been a lot of struggle and development and triumphs in those 3 years for every person. It's developed every individual's life in some way, and none of that was acknowledged. None of that was even appreciated. It was completely breathed over. I also think for Caroline's speech, it would have been really nice if she almost did like a recap of what we do each year, almost in a way like I've done in my videos when I recap about each academic year. I think it just would have been a really nice touch if she went through the 3 years and maybe picked out like some things from each year, and acknowledge like, oh, I remember when we did this case, or this legal development broke through, well, when we all stood up and we mooted and it was a scary experience, we did client interviews, you know, we did X, Y, Z. Basically acknowledge a bit more what we've actually done, you know, the subjects we've studied, the people we've met, the experiences we've all encountered, and how that actually has impacted us. I think it would have just, again, appreciated that we've all developed as people and what we've actually achieved, because it really did feel like they almost aren't acknowledging and aren't appreciating the achievement of 3 years. This is 3 years of our lives and we're going to carry it with us forever, and it just seemed very minimal and very impersonal. And it might sound harsh, but I feel like there were a lot of little things they could have done that would have took like a matter of minutes or an hour here or there. They're not big projects. And this graduation at the end of the day is a month later than my normal graduation would have been. So you've had extra time to plan it. I just don't see where the time's gone. I just don't see what the point was, really. It was weird. It wasn't what I expected at all. I don't even know what I expected, because obviously it was Zoom, but like, I expected more effort, I suppose. But I think they did say that we're going to get a proper graduation, but I'm actually not sure when that will be and what that's going to be like. And I don't know if people will go to that if they haven't gone to this one, but maybe people are just holding out because they want the proper graduation. I don't know. I suppose that's pretty much for the online graduation. I kind of wanted to film it today and I guess offer a bit of insights, because a lot of you have followed the journey of me at York, and I suppose this kind of completely sums it up. I know through my own graduation, like a month or 2 ago when we were in lockdown, but you know, the actual full proper graduation, I kind of wanted to share it. And also for anybody that has a graduation this year, an online graduation, I guess maybe what to expect or what they're going to be like, or for people that couldn't necessarily attend this graduation for whatever reasons, I guess they can look at this video and look back online at what it was actually like. So yeah, it's interesting just to capture this as, I guess, the final York law vlog. I feel like it probably will be the final York law vlog. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride, and I think interesting way to sum it up, I suppose. So I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. I will see you next week. Bye guys.